this is Mackenzie. Hey, this is Owen. Don't forget to like our show and subscribe.
If you want to continue the conversation from the show, check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/wearetheADHD family. So this morning, it's about 0 degrees, maybe -1. There's some frost on the roads and the sidewalks, and I thought, I'm going to ask the kids if they want to come outside and salt the sidewalks with me. And they're both super excited, and they're getting all their shoes and stuff on. And then all of a sudden, Mackenzie turns around and says to me, "Dad, Owen punched me in the face." I stop because I'm kind of shocked by this whole thing, and she's obviously not crying. And she said it as calmly as I'm explaining it to you. And at this point, I'm confused because I went from, hey, let's get our stuff on and go outside and salt the sidewalk and make sure people don't fall because it's slippery, to, Dad, Owen punched me. I try to navigate, and I try to navigate this pivot. And I turn to Owen and I say, Owen, did you punch your sister? Well, yeah, he says. I did, but only because she punched me. There are times that I struggle. This morning was one of them. Please stop punching each other. Just stop. Be really nice if we didn't punch each other. Good morning on this December 10th. I'm really happy. I'm actually really emotional this morning. Something really cool has happened, and I want to tell you about it. But before that, I think it's only right to tell you that I have a blanket over my head right now. That may sound weird, but if I sound a little different, it's because I'm trying some different ideas to make my audio sound better and my voice sound better. So there's a lot less reflection in the room. And I'm hoping it's coming across as good as I think it does. But yeah, it's kind of funny for me to be sitting here with a blanket over top of my monitor, and it's just me, the microphone, and the screen. To think this is what I would do just to hide from children, but this is what I'm doing all by myself. And this also doesn't allow me to see the big piles of laundry that I have not yet sorted, because I don't want to look at it every time I walk by it. Anybody want to come over and help me sort laundry? So you may be asking, why is Mark so happy? Last night, something wonderful happened. Owen was reading. When I picked Owen up from school yesterday, he says, I've got a book about Greek and Roman mythology. I'm like, oh, wow, cool. And he started going on about Hercules and Zeus. And I was just going, okay, cool. We'll have to look at this book later on. When we got home, Owen spent the next couple hours playing Fortnite, and totally normal. And at some point, I think it must have been about 8:45, 8:50, I said, it's time to log off. You know, you've yelled at the TV and yelled at your friends enough. And, read the book or something. Mackenzie and Siobhan went upstairs at some point, and Owen's got the book out, and he was sort of starting to read, but he had the iPad on. So I said, turn off the iPad. If you're going to read. I kind of realized, like in hindsight, thinking about it this morning, that there's something he said to me where he goes, he likes to have background noise on when he's reading, which I'm not used to, right? Because it takes me a while to sit there and read, and background noise doesn't help me at all. Learning his perspective is a thing for me. Eventually, I'm just cleaning up, and then he does turn off the iPad, and then he is reading the book. And I'm like, this is not a small book. Well, it's not like massive book either. I've got it in front of me because he forgot to take it to school. It talks about who the Roman gods were and the differences and similarities between the names of the Roman and Greek gods, which is massively interesting. This is stuff that I kind of studied in school. Although I went more the art history route, he is going, the mythology route, and I kind of partly know why. I'll talk about that afterwards. There he is reading. And I just, in the middle of me cleaning and putting stuff away in the kitchen and all that, I realized what he was doing, and I was just ready to, I just stopped dead in my tracks, and I was just ready to cry. And I'd never heard him pick up a book on his own and read before. It's just awesome to hear it. He did that for a bit, and when I was done cleaning up things, I sat down with him and we worked some things out. There were some bigger words that he struggled with, and even smaller ones. I wasn't surprised by it. I loved his pronunciations of words like Prometheus, which it's funny to hear him talk about those things. The amount of effort that he was putting in did not seem to be like huge. I'm sure it was huge because it's like 9 o'clock, right? But at night, he seemed to be doing pretty good. As far as the origins of all this go and the whole Greek and Roman thing, I think this all started with Fortnite like 2 or 3 chapters ago. I'm still confused at how to break those things down. But they had different Greek characters and Roman mythology in there, and they had things like Pandora's box in the game and other gods that you had to go see. You got to go fight Hades and all this kind of stuff. And so I think that piqued his interest in terms of what these, what the Fortnite storyline was versus what the mythology is. And like I said, it was pretty random for this book to even come home because he hadn't talked about it too much. We went upstairs and I'm like, you know what? I don't care how late it's going to get. I want him to read. Like, this is just one of those moments where time doesn't matter, and he's on such a roll that we went upstairs, and again, I'm just putting things away, and he did a bit of reading, and then we sat down together, and he finished off to he did like 2 chapters last night. I am blown away by just hearing all of this, and we talked. I think the part that really blew me away, and I asked him about this, was the being dyslexic. So, because he has his diagnosis, but was this hard for him to read? The font's relatively big, but were the letters and words jumbling around? Was it making it harder? And he's like, no, it's not too bad. And he said something that was really interesting to me, which was when there's something that he has to read that's boring, that he's not interested in, his brain doesn't care. It doesn't put in the effort to sit there and read these things. But for this, I swear to you, like the amount of effort I saw coming out of this it seemed very easy and very natural. Don't get me wrong, this wasn't like reading Shakespeare. He still needs to learn about punctuations and when to give pauses and stuff, because it was just kind of one sentence after another, and then this part happened, and then that part happened. Like, it just kind of droned on a bit, but who cares? That's something that just comes with time. He went to bed, and this morning, it was funny because when we woke up and we got to school, I realized that I forgot to ask him, like for the 3rd time, hey, did you take the book with you? And so he's like, nope. So I actually have it sitting here in front of me, and I need to take it into the school when I go off and do my errands. But he was mad that he didn't have it with him because it's like, I wanted to read this at school, and he wanted to return it. And I still have to tell his teacher about just hearing him read and the impact it had on me. And I was thinking about this, like recording this sort of an episode, and I thought, what else can I elaborate on? Like, what can help you as a parent or you as a person reading this as something that may have contributed over the years? Because I talked about it briefly with my wife, I think last night or early this morning, and said, I can't believe how far he has come and how well he did. And I'm just so impressed and blown away, yada, yada. We did a lot of reading with him when we were younger, and we would always read words together and do that. And so when he started to read, when there are things that he didn't understand or know, then he would stop. But one thing that I started with him was, I said, if you don't know the word, that's okay. Tell us that you don't know the word. I'd rather have you say, I don't know, than not try, but jumble up the word, in other words. So tell me you don't know something, because that's totally cool. And we wouldn't work through things phonetically, because phonetics was not like phonetics or sounding it out wasn't necessarily his strong suit. But what he could do quite well, I thought, was he could tell me what the letters were. And this actually is how we figured out that he was dyslexic way before a psych ed ever did anything. So there were letters he would read out, and either they would be backwards or maybe be in a different order or something like that. Anyway, so if you're reading a page of a book with your own kid or yourself, and you don't know the word or how to say the word, I would say, okay, well, let's read the letters. And then he would go through the letters. So maybe the word was, I don't know, ball. So B-A-L-L. And then I would tell him what the word is. Oh, that's ball. So he has a chance to not only just practice just recognizing like letter recognition, but then I'll sit there or my wife will sit there and be like, here's what the word is. And we go on to the next one. And it was a good process to go through, I thought. And I think the other important thing as well was just consistency of, not reading every night, because that's not always the easiest thing to do. It's hard. Maybe it's every other night or every other night, something like that. It made things, I think this all builds up over time because he's learned. Now, I think my only question is, as I think out loud, is he memorizing what the words are? And then he's just recalling, oh, that's the word ball, for example. Okay. Does he memorize that word and what it looks like, but phonetically maybe he struggles with it? That I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's kind of a mix of both. Hey, you know what? Honestly, after years of doing this and seeing him read that book, it just, again, how proud I am of him. I'm just so blown away by it. Anyways, this is all I had to say for this episode. I'm really just blown away and happy and feeling emotional about the fact that, he did so amazing. I'm going to keep saying that for the rest of the day, I think. But wherever you are, you know what? It's Christmas. It's Christmas time. It's December 10th. But wherever you are, just remember that these small steps matter. And all these small steps lead to bigger steps. This is the beautiful thing about raising kids, I think. Wherever you are, be safe, be well, and keep fighting, because it's all worth it. And be proud that you are that parent.
Thank you for listening to our show.
If you're hearing this message, you've reached the end of the episode, and for that, I want to say thank you. I hope you have enjoyed what you've heard and are walking away with newfound knowledge.
We are the ADHD family.
See you soon for a new episode.